to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today Around Kansas starts with a story about the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home in Abilene. Next, learn about the Topeka Civic Theater and Canopy, the oldest continuously running community dinner theater in the country. Then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a story about a very special painting. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the yellow brick road. Well, here it is, Wednesday before Christmas. How about that already?
I can't believe it.
Yeah, usually for Around Kansas, we're in the Dillon House, which is across from the state capitol. But today we thought, hey, let's go to the capitol and do our show in the rotunda of the state capitol where the state Christmas tree is.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Yeah, and the grounds look so pretty. You got the big tree outside too. So drive through if you get a chance and see the State House. And, you know, while you're on break over the Christmas holiday, be a nice time to come to Topeka and see the State House in all its glory and all decorated for Christmas.
And climb up. You can go up to the top of it again.
Yeah, you can climb if you want to. That's right.
Yeah. So if you hear background noise or people walking through, it's because it is a busy place and they do conduct tours.
Your tax dollars are at work here. Yeah, people aren't just sitting around in the State House. They are working. So.
And it was also too cold outside, so we moved in here.
That's really. So what do you want for Christmas, Frank?
Oh gosh, just to be together with the family. You know, at my age now, there isn't anything, you know, like presents and all that you really need, except maybe a motorcycle, a box of cigars, you know.
Well, at my age, I still want presents. Hey, yeah, I like my family and all, but yeah, I really want some presents. You know, I go around the state and I see all these cool things in gift shops, and I love collecting Christmas ornaments. So I have some wonderful Christmas ornaments from places that we visited on vacation, and you know, so I love getting those out every year and having the memory that goes along with it. You know, here's one from the Library of Congress, where you know I've spent a lot of time researching there, and so the wonderful Christmas tree ornament from Library of Congress, or Lane University. You know, they've got the Christmas tree ornaments in Topeka. You know, but all over the state, I've gotten them from. Oh, I think I've got them from Hayes. I've got them from everywhere. I love getting those. Send me ornaments. Yeah, I would.
So if you have an ornament, send it to her.
That's right. I love them. I love them. We'll show them all on TV. We'll talk about them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Plus,
I need some new boots too.
Oh, okay.
I really need some new boots. I wear boots all winter long. So, you know, just knee-high boots all the time. You know, once it gets cold, I'm in them every day, so I wear them out pretty quickly.
Now, I got to ask you, when you were a kid, you know, and you always went to see Santa, and you said, what do you want? And you listed off things. Did you ever get it?
Occasionally. I think I asked Santa for a Barbie doll one time, and I got a Barbie doll. I wanted one of those 36-inch high walking dolls. I don't know if you guys remember those, but I wanted one of those and I got it. So every now and then Santa brought me what I wanted. And we also had, he was on a local show, kind of like the WIBW show here. The news station in Greensboro had Marco the Polo Bear. So we had the old Rebel and Marco the Polo Bear. Yeah, that was... Yeah, okay. Those were the good old days.
Hey, we're going to have to do some stories here pretty quick, so I guess we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Marco the polo bear.
You know, and one time he was coming up to Fancy Gap, Virginia. He was going to be at Sunnyside, which was a little store there, and a wonderful store. It had a little bit of everything, and they got special shipments of Christmas toys in, you know. So Marco the polo bear was going to be there. So I was going to go meet Marco the polo bear. And it snowed, and we couldn't go because the roads were too bad, and they canceled Marco the polo bear's visit because of snow.
Oh, no.
I will never forget that. I must have been 6 or something. I was so disappointed I didn't get to meet Marco the polo bear.
As you know, we're in the state capitol today. And of course, Kansas was the 34th state to join the Union. And the 34th president of the United States was Eisenhower from the state of Kansas.
Boy, that worked out well, didn't it?
It did. So, but you took a trip over to the Eisenhower Museum, which is in Abilene.
I love the Eisenhower Museum. I love taking friends there. So this is another great place over the winter break, or you know, whenever you have friends come to town, take them to the Eisenhower Museum. I've also researched in the library there, which is a really incredible and phenomenal research facility. But we forget, Frank, because, you know, you and I lived through so much of it. But kids don't even realize, you know, Ike was responsible for essentially winning the World War II and freeing the world. And I mean, there's so many of Ike's accomplishments other than the presidency that a lot of kids aren't even aware of. So make sure you get all the young folks over there to see the Eisenhower Museum. It's incredible.
Do you still have an I Like Ike button?
Of course I do.
Everybody has an I Like Ike button.
And my grandfather served with Ike. He served under Ike in World War I at Gettysburg. And so when I tell people my grandpa served with Ike in Gettysburg, they're like, boy, has she got her history messed up, you know, but he really did. So that's another facet of Ike's history you can learn about. Let's take a look. At the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home in Abilene, visitors can explore the extraordinary life and legacy of the only 5-star general who became President of the United States. The Eisenhower Presidential Library is home to a world-class research facility that caters to scholars and history enthusiasts from all around the world. The vast holdings of the library consist of millions of pages of historical records and photos, thousands of feet of film footage, and tens of thousands of artifacts. It is one of 13 presidential libraries administered by the National Archives. They preserve the documents and artifacts of our presidents, providing insight into the times in which these presidents lived and served the nation. The Eisenhower Museum and Boyhood Home allow visitors to explore Ike's boyhood years growing up in America's heartland, his years as a military leader, and his presidency. Through December of 2016, the Eisenhower Presidential Library and Museum presents World War II Remembered, Leaders, Battles, and Heroes, and inclusive commemoration of the pivotal events of World War II, marking the 70th anniversaries of the war. What makes this exhibit stand out from other interpretive World War II exhibits is the focus on personal stories. The exhibit strives to honor the unsung heroes and tell the lesser-known stories of the time. The accounts of such groups as the Tuskegee Airmen, Native American Code Talkers, the brave contribution of the Ritchie Boys, and the heroic stories of women at war and on the working home front are shared. Also on exhibit through December 2016 is Be Ye Men of Valor, Allies of World War II. While it was major industrial powers like the United States, England, and the Soviet Union that provided the bulk of manpower and resources, dozens of other allies selflessly spent blood and treasure of their own to defeat the Axis powers. This exhibit explores the important victories, defeats, personalities, and causes associated with the lesser-known Allied nations and resistance groups. Check the website for more information on these and other special exhibits as well as programming. Make sure you pick up an I Like Ike button while you're in the gift shop, too.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community. Visit the Territorial Capitol Museum, where more than 70 trees are displayed with thousands of antique and vintage ornaments, and be sure to stop in the gift shops in both Lecompton museums. Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fall is a great time to plant perennials, trees, shrubs, and bulbs. Root development occurs with the moist and cool soil conditions, which means better growth next year with less watering and maintenance. The use of mulch on all plantings helps protect from freezing, thawing, and drying out. Let Jackson's help with your next planting.
Jackson's top quality fall bulbs for spring blooming have arrived. Always plant the best bulbs for bigger, better blooms.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Okay, another present I would really love are season tickets to Topeka Civic Theater. So if you could work on that for me, Frank, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Now, this was eons ago, but the first show I did for Civic Theater was Here's Love, which was kind of a Christmassy show. In fact, it was done in the Women's Club, which is right across from the Capitol as well, and by the Dillon House. And and in Here's Love, there's this big parade, and the stage at the Women's Club was kind of limited. So the people that were in the parade actually had to be outside and come across the stage and go back out and the whole thing. But anyway, Civic Theater did many seasons at the Women's Club.
I didn't realize that.
And rehearsals were in an old church, and I can't even remember now, it's been so long ago, where that was. And we would rehearse there and then come down, of course, and do the dress rehearsal at in the auditorium at the Women's Club. So it was a great time. Dale Easton was the artistic director at the time. And of course, then he started the Drunkard and the whole 9 yards. But speak of Civic Theater now, is so much more. Wow. It has so many opportunities for children to get involved in theater. They have several shows going on at the same time in their current facility, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So
when they did Les Miserables, talking about the parade, they had the revolving stage. So that was amazing, and so it looked like people streaming by, and it was just the revolving. Oh, they're amazing. Shannon Ryan is just one of my favorite people.
Hope you get the opportunity to see A Christmas Carol. It's a fantastic production. And so I'm sure tickets are available, but you need to check. So anyway.
Let's take a look.
Yeah. Founded in 1936, Topeka Civic Theater and Academy is the oldest continuously running community theater in the country. The Topeka Civic Theater's productions have remained consistent through decades of staff and venue changes. In July 1999, Topeka Civic completed construction of its new home in the former Gage Elementary School. The school was built around 1929 and is rich in architecture and design. It also affords 2 stages, the main stage for larger productions and the Old Fathers Theater, which is a more intimate setting. Over the years, Topeka Civic Theater has been the recipient of many awards and honors. Shannon Riley has been creative director for more than 2 decades. He has brought enthusiasm as well as vision to the post. Topeka Civic Theater offers after-school programs and workshops that encourage children to become involved in the theater, an opportunity that has bloomed into a lifelong relationship for many of them. In 2013, Topeka Civic Theater began a partnership with Shawnee County to manage the Helen Hawker Theater in Gage Park, enabling this community landmark to continue and thrive. The 2016 schedule includes musical Memphis, as well as the Aristocat Kids. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Heinen Brothers, a 4th-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest 3/4 of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Howdy folks, I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Lariat. There is one element of Kansas life which is found in the stereotypes that people have about the state of Kansas, and there's an element of truth to it, folks. I'm talking about wind. This poem is entitled Blowin' in the Wind. The railroad train stopped at a station out west. Out stepped a city dude in bowler hat and fancy vest. The wind was a howlin', as Kansas winds sometimes do, and off went his hat as one particular gust blew. This wind is just horrific, the Easterner said. Is it always like this? He wondered with dread. So he looked around, and what caught his eye was a Kansas cowboy who was waiting nearby. He approached the cowboy, saying, "Young man, I say, does the wind clear out here always blow this way?" "Nope," said the cowboy. "Thank goodness," said the dude. But his relief was short-lived with the comment that ensued. For the cowboy offered this further correction. "You see, out here, the wind blows half the time in the other direction." Happy trails.
I'm a patient of Kansas Regenerative Medicine in Manhattan. I had stem cell therapy in my hips and my left knee. My wife and I both are patients. We went down there the same day in November. Since then, my hips are feeling a lot better. I can work now most of the day if I want to. And before, if I worked in the morning, I was done in the afternoon, or if I worked in the afternoon, I was sure enough done for the rest of the day.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
And we're back again, and it's as we told you, it might get a little noisy. There is a tour that'll be passing through here shortly, so that's what the background noise is.
The place is full of politicians, so what do you do? They get a little loud sometimes. What can you say?
Yeah, but again, we'll remind you, when you're in Topeka, be sure to visit the state capitol. It's absolutely beautiful. And give yourself some time to really look around and look at the many murals that are on the wall. And how's that for kind of a segue into kind of what we're going to talk about now?
Speaking of art, very good,
Art,
Frank.
yes, paintings.
Speaking of art, we've got our next story is about a treasure that showed up in a very unexpected place. It was donated to the Restore, actually, in Topeka. And I love shopping at thrift stores. I love the Restore. I love, the yard sales and all these unexpected places. And I have found some really nice pieces of art in the thrift store. I don't know that mine are as valuable as the one we're going to talk about, but I have found some really nice pieces. So do you do that, Frank? Do you ever go through the junk
and not
stores
so much anymore, but we had an antique store in Lawrence years ago. But thing is even over in the Noto Arts District, there are a lot of stores over there that you might find something kind of outstanding and unusual.
And unique, and you go through the antique stores, and some of those people are really knowledgeable, and what's collectible is just amazing. I mean, my friend Don Weichert I ran into the other day, the button man, and he'll talk about when he started getting interested in collecting buttons, and there are buttons worth thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they're so rare. They're, cellular, all kinds of, whatever they're made of, when they were made, what they were made for, uniforms. So, there's just so many collectible things. Who can keep up? So
but paintings, when you find one of those, and that's what's cool about this story, because somebody, I don't want to get ahead of the game, but somebody had an eye.
Really did. Let's take a look at this one. It was First Friday Art Walk, and my friend and I had popped into Beecham's Gallery at the Westboro Mart. Owners Bob and Kim Swain are old friends, and Callie Krallman was displaying her latest works depicting scenes along the Santa Fe Trail. Propped on the floor against some other paintings was a rather large impressionist landscape with an old shed and a tree, a sycamore maybe, since the trunk was so white. I asked Bob about it, and he said, "Oh, you haven't heard the story?" So Bob told me that our mutual friend, John Peterson, retired journalist, was volunteering at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. He spied this art among the pieces about to be put out for sale and thought it might be worth more than the $50 they were about to slap on. He phoned Bob. "Are you familiar with an artist named Starke?" he asked. "You mean Phil Starke?" "Yes." Bob took a look at the painting and assured them it was worth far more than $50. Not only does Beecham's display and sell works of art, they offer framing, repairs, cleaning, and appraisals. The folks back at the Restore knew who had donated it and called to make sure he realized his generosity. He said, yes, by all means, sell it and keep the money. Bob repaired the slight damage and put the painting out for sale for several $1,000s, with the proceeds to benefit the Restore. Turns out Phil Starke is a very successful landscape painter and has written books and produces tutorials on techniques. John obviously had a very good eye. For those of us who regularly go treasure hunting at thrift stores and junk sales, this was all the affirmation we needed to keep on searching.
Well, we hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And I'm Frank.
I'm Deb. Be safe, everybody.
Yes, and we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to Oz, under the rainbow.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy Stream. We're the best part of Dorothy Stream.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamandkansas.com.